Alrighty, Stormrunner versus It's Barbecue Time. Wood Elves versus Gnurgle. Gnurgle. I feel like this is a terrible matchup for Gnurgle. I don't know. Maybe I'm old-fashioned, but fire damage, magic damage arrows in abundance, armor piercing as well. That is everything Nurgle hates. Their physical resistance, their armored Chaos Warriors, their healing, all mitigated by those. Eternal Guard frontline with Dryads on the flanks. We have Glade Riders, the Wild Hunters Kronos, after their buffs to be like the Fireborn. They are very, very good. And we have a Spellsinger of Life with Regrowth and Earthblood, and then a Glade Lord with Prey of Anathrema and Arrow of Kronos. The other side for Nurgle, Marauders and Pestigores for a mixed frontline. We have a Soul Grinder, a Chaos Lord Nurgle, Chaos Sorcerer Lord Nurgle with Rants of Visitations, Fleshy Abundance, and Stream of Corruption, plus the Children Nurgle passive, and then one Rot Knight, some Plague Notes, and some Plague Toads, and some Dogs. I hate this. I'll mention it every time because not everybody watches all my videos, but my advice on this is consistent. Never, 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 never take the lore passive of a Lore of Magic if you are taking mostly expensive spells, because you aren't going to cast them enough to get the value out of the lore passive. If you had just Stream of Corruption, fine, take the lore passive. But having Fleshy Abundance and Rants of Visitations and the lore passive, no. Nice Prey of Anathrema onto the Soul Grinder. All the archers going to turn and fire on this poor netted bastard, and he gets disintegrated. Throwing a Fleshy Abundance on him as Demonic Instability starts. That is unfortunately a waste of Winds of Magic and a very rough start for Nurgle. They lost an expensive spell and an expensive monster. Nurgle is also piling up on the Eternal Guard. Their infantry are stacking on top of one another, making their attacks less effective. So pretty rough start here for Nurgle, as the Sorcerer also dives into the backline. All the Glade Guard are going to turn and shoot at this guy. Looks like he's going down soon as well. Glade Lord is also fighting the Chaos Lord of Nurgle. That could be a little risky. And oh, nice dodge there from the Chaos Sorcerer of Nurgle. Good Stream of Corruption too, so he's fighting back as best he can. Plague Toad's getting into that back line. And the Chaos Lord of Nurgle really giving it to the Glade Lord, who probably overextended and is now trying to run away as the Chaos Sorcerer of Nurgle gets back into his own backline. We have some dogs in the distance that are trying to join the fight, and Rot Knights crushed the Glade Riders. So it looks like Nurgle is going to come back with a vengeance here soon. Glade Lord is routing as the Chaos Lord of Nurgle pops all of his buffs. She gets back up in the sky, and there ain't nothing you can do about that. Dogs reaching the Glade Guard along with the Plague Toads, so the sniping of the Wood Elves was very strong at first, but they couldn't quite peel for their archers. They're now starting to pay for it. Rot Knights meet the Wild Hunters of Kronos. I believe the Wild Hunters would win this, because I generally have a lack of faith in Rot Knights, but this is the fight the Rot Knights want. Anti-large, armor-piercing versus that. Dryad infantry support also can offer a little bit of support. Arrow of Kronos went for the Chaos Sorcerer of Nurgle, but he dodged most of it. And more dogs arrive from the Vanguard at last to take out the last of these archers. Some are starting to rally, but overall most of the archers are in pretty bad trouble as Stream of Corruption goes down those guys. Got some Glade Riders that need to get activated. What else? Forgetting a couple of those. And a Fleshy Abundance cast in for the Rot Knights. Nope, that is a regrowth for the Wild Hunters of Kronos. Oopsie poopsie, and now the Rot Knights realize they need to get going. They're going to try and leave, but those reindeer don't exactly let them go, so they're just going to probably herd these guys off the map. Can't imagine that we'll see the Rot Knights again. How else are we doing? I mean, the dogs are doing great work on the backline, so are the Plague Toads, so that's all going fantastically. Nurgle's front line is holding next to the Wood Elves. But the Wood Elves, their cavalry is winning overall. Gonna kill the Rot Knights. Glade Rider's gonna run down this Sorcerer. So the Wood Elf Cav is doing good. Can it carry a whole game? Let's find out. Because there we go. Rot Knights are gonna rout. Dryads try and save this Spellsinger of Life. It's getting eaten alive by dogs. The dogs should rout any second now. They took the Spellsinger with them. I'm guessing they'll rout and then she'll rally and she can heal herself and be fine. Nurgle's ahead on the bounce power briefly. Yeah, there you go. Dryads are forming up around her, they'll be fine. Eternal Guard holding for now. Plague Toad's getting nice and low, but the Chaos Lord of Nurgle is here to stay. Throws out a debuff on these enemies. Buff on his allies. Really shifting how this battle's gonna go. Rot or Die helping out quite a lot. Look at these Dryads. Just trying to get between this little Spellsinger in danger. As the dogs reform lines, she's gonna run straight into them because routing can't control where they go, obviously. Looks like the Wood Elves will lose their caster officially. They're about to get a big boon, as the Wild Hunters of Kurnoss and the Glade Riders should be rejoining the fight any second, so that'll help out quite a lot. Unfortunately, they weren't here to save this lady from the dogs. Oh no, the dogs didn't get orders! They didn't get orders to attack the Spellslinger, she just ran straight through them. She's gonna rally! That is a disaster. She's back. She should immediately run towards the Wild Hunters of Kurnoss in case those dogs realized that she came back and chase her down, because we saw that one earlier with Dryad support. Without Dryad support, she'd just die instantly. Blade Lord is trying to get a couple shots in at the Chaos Lord of Nurgle, not getting too much damage out just yet. These are all Marauders, Chaos Warhounds. And yeah, she immediately paths over towards the Wild Hunters and even gives them a regrowth for their efforts. Doesn't heal herself up, is more concerned about getting the Wild Hunters back in it, which I can appreciate. Is she gonna Earthblood herself while they're on top of her for extra healing? No. Looks like she doesn't have the wins. She just lets it go. Blade Riders get a rear charge over onto the Dryads over here. Helping that, well, with the Dryads, not onto the Dryads. They're not rear charging the Dryads. It's Pestigors and Marauders are stuck in the middle. Looks like they're gonna be routing soon. Wild Hunters of Kurnoss continue to chase those dogs, and the Spellslinger of Life's just gonna vibe and chill out. Nurgle is cleaned up well on this top side. Chaos Lord secured all of his infantry, routed off all of the Wood Elves up there. Wood Elves over here are rallying, so we have the Wild Hunters of Kurnoss, who are now very healthy, a healthy Glade Rider, an almost dead caster, and an almost dead Glade Lord, versus Nurgle, a bunch of tattered infantry, a half-health dog, but then a full-health, heavily armored Chaos Lord. I would rather be the Wood Elves at that point. Wild Hunters of Kurnoss can do an awful lot of work, even when surrounding a Chaos Lord, so... yeah, gonna be a little tough for Nurgle. Chaos Warhounds charge some rallying Dryads. We'll see who wins that one. I'm not sure. Dryads have physical resistance and cause fear, but the dogs have way more HP and got the charge, so... looks like the dogs might be able to clutch it out. I'm very invested in this now. There's an Earthblood heals up some Wood Elf infantry in the background, but I just want to see how this goes. 1 leadership on the dog, -5. Ah, the dog loses. Dryads are too spooky. Fair enough. Chaos Lord is going to get run around the map for a little bit, so I'm going to times 2 speed quick. The Wild Hunters of Kurnoss are going to rear charge these infantry. Ah, the massacre! Oh, the pain! Blade Riders also come in, so they're just trying to rout these guys, and then when they rout them, they can chase them off the map, leaving the Chaos Lord behind, where they'll keep casting Earthbloods as long as they have Winds of Magic, and the Glade Lord will keep shooting at this guy. See his rot or die. He used all of his buffs. Yep, the Wild Hunters are just gonna run off. They're gonna chase things. Chasing stuff. Another regrowth for the Wild Hunters of Kurnoss. Pravenoth Rima locks the Chaos Sorcerer guy, not even Sorcerer, Chaos Lord of Nurgle, on top of Eternal Guard with Wild Hunters charging him, just trying to get extra damage out. Bounce power shifts against Nurgle for the first time in a while. Looks like the Glade Lord might consider diving into melee. Nope, just gonna sit above him and get easier shots. Maybe, possibly, potentially. But the Wild Hunters have surrounded this poor single lost Rot Knight. Looks like Nurgle's just gonna throw in the towel. Don't blame him. Stormrunner could have just kept cycle charging and healing. Dryads did okay. Eternal Guard did alright. Glade Guard did okay. Very spread out damage for this Wood Elf build. Oof, and then 3,000 damage value for the Wild Hunters of Kurnoss. For its barbecue times, Chaos Lord did fine. Marauders did very solidly, as did the Pestigors. Rot Knights struggled as they usually do. Dogs got a ton of value. Plague Duds did fine. The Soul Grinder was instantly sniped, but still got 400 value on his way out. GG. Okay, we have goals to get to before we hit 2025. There's like a month and a half left from when I recorded this. Let's get it done. If we hit 12,500 subscribers, we get an ice bath questionnaire thing. It means I just sit in a super cold fucking tub of snow and ice and water, and I have to answer your stupid questions while freezing to death. 13,000, I'll make a build guide for every faction. 13,500, we'll do a 20-hour stream. If you're watching my content, you aren't subscribed, that's okay. That's your right. You are free to do so, but also, dude, what are you doing? Get in there. It's free. Just hit the little subscriber button, then never watch my channel again. It's fine. It's free. But if you do that, then YouTube's like, other people might like this dumb piece of shit. And then they'll recommend me to other people and get us on our front pages. And then I'll give them this speech. And then they'll make us biggest, bestest channel in the whole world. Warhammer Forever. If you do this, you'll guarantee Total Warhammer 4. They'll introduce factions like Hazel Basil's faction and Ed the Mookhouse faction. And Grace will play the game. And it'll be great. So